that former President Olusegun Obasanjo is keen on supporting Peter Obi and is wooing top Northerners like the convener of the Northern Elders Forum, Ango Abdullahi, and Dr. Akin Baba Ahmed to join that project.
Okay, thank you. Good evening, Nigeria. Good evening, Africa. Good evening, the whole world. I think that question should have been passed to Olusegun Obasanjo. Ask him, why has he suddenly woken up from a sleep or a slumber and aspiring to promote an Obi? I'm saying that so that you can hear from the horse's mouth, but I'm sure he's going to be economical in telling you the truth. But my intervention is going to be rooted into ancient antiquity, history, philosophy, and logic of Obasanjo. In 1979, precisely look at Punch, 19th of September 1979. The headline was front cover story, 2.8 billion naira oil money missing. Obasanjo left office in 1980, precisely on 26 June 1980. A crude oil tribunal of inquiry was put in place to investigate that alleged 2.8 billion naira NNPC money missing. And to chair that tribunal was Justice Ayo Irekefe, Langiwa, Sula Kulfi, Arthur Imbanifo, and Mr. Vag as a secretary to go and establish the truth or otherwise of that 2.8 billion naira missing money. The tribunal started sitting in Lagos. Part of the people invited to testify before the tribunal on account of the document they had before them was the former president then, Olusegun Obasanjo. He completely ignored all the 7 invitations by the tribunal to appear before it. When he was pressed further, he detailed Chief Rotimi Williams, of blessed memory, to go and represent him with just one simple submission. The submission was that the evidence being sought from Obasanjo by the tribunal, being a public knowledge and a public document, could as well be given by any civil servant. But the reason why they were asking for Obasanjo to come physically is that documents available to the tribunal have clearly established that when General Muhammadu Buhari, then the oil minister, Minister for Petroleum Resources, went for course, Obasanjo took over the portfolio of the president, commander-in-chief, and petroleum resources minister. And in the span of 6 months, he gave heavy discounts that cannot be explained by the act establishing NNPC. Beyond his power as a minister, even beyond his power as the president, he kept on giving out discounts and premiums at will. And it led to a heavy loss on the part of NNPC. They wanted him to shed light on that. He vehemently refused. That is to tell you the disdain he has for constitutionality and accountability. So he has this old history.
If I may come in here.
He had this history. Excuse me.
If I may come in here, this same Obasanjo you're talking about appeared before the Oputa panel, which was set up to look at issues that happened in the country. So if he didn't appear before that panel, at least he appeared before another panel.
The circumstances are different. In that particular issue of crude oil sale tribunal, he was an accused, or so to speak, by the documents. In Oputa panel, he was an injured lion. He was there to continue licking his wound and make the wound look fresh on account of Abacha's stewardship and his relationship. So treated very differently. Now, I'm going straight to the question. Why do I think an Obasanjo is selling a Peter Obi, quote and unquote? The reason as follows. I'm even surprised that Obasanjo is doing this. I think he is trying to pull a wool on the face of all Igbos. Because just read his book, My Command. Read it cover to cover. Inside the book, he was so proud to own up to the entire role he played in decimating the military of Biafra, in cowing them into submission, in annihilating them, in defeating them. He took over the entire credit of the fail of Biafra agitation that led to the civil war. Not only that, after the war, it was unilaterally agreed, internationally and locally, that there should be reconstruction, reconciliation, rehabilitation. Nobody was reconciled. Igbos were not reconciled. They are still agitating. Nothing was reconstructed. They are still facing dirge of infrastructure. Nobody was reconciled. And Obasanjo was there. He had an opportunity to reconstruct, rehabilitate, to reconcile. Rather than doing that, he left them in full of their blood. I'm therefore shocked that Igbos are now swallowing Obasanjo's trade hook, line, and sinker. When documented history is there, gazetted, the role he played in leading Igbos to what they were then, 20, 30, 40 years back.
Okay.
Luckily for them, they are beginning to recover. Therefore, it's surprising that he's selling Obi, and Obi is believing him in spite of documented history of the crime he committed against the entire Igbo nation. Maybe he has meditated, maybe he has prayed over, maybe he is lamenting, and he wants to correct the wrongs. The answer is better left to Obasanjo.
Okay, very interesting perspective you've got there, and there's always room for repentance, I must say. And who wouldn't even want the former president's support? Because we've seen that almost every person who wants to be president since 2007 has always sought for the support of former President Olusegun Obasanjo. But I want to ask you now,
Not anymore.
what exactly is wrong with Obasanjo seeking the support of the North for Peter Obi? Isn't Peter Obi Nigerian enough to deserve such a support?
Let me say for the upteenth time that under the Nigerian constitution and all operational laws, there is nothing wrong with an Obasanjo canvassing support for any candidate of his choice. There is nothing wrong with an Obi aspiring to become the president of Nigeria. But then there should be a parameter, a yardstick, and a measurement of assessing whether these people are what they say they are, and they are competent enough, and they have the good conscience to sell and to promote. Let us go to Obasanjo. If Obasanjo is coming to the North to seek for a partnership, to sell a candidate, to aspire to promote, protect, and project an Obi, there are relevant questions that we need to ask him. Under Obasanjo, he destroyed the entire economy of the North. Today, nobody can convince any Northerner. The consolidation of the banks, which saw the total extinction of all commercial banks of Northern origin, because we could not raise the money, because we don't have those type of money to sustain a bank of 25 billion naira then, was done deliberately by Obasanjo to bring the North to its own knees.
Is it the same North?
Military officers.
Is it the same North? Sorry to intervene there. Is it the same North that Atiku Abubakar was vice president in that government and had a lot of senators, a lot of federal ministers and all of that?
Under the Nigerian constitution, a vice president is just an appendix. He lives and survives at the mercy of the president. Till today, until that section of the constitution is reviewed, is amended, is varied, I don't envy anybody becoming a vice president. So stop talking about an Atiku. At that material time, there was nothing he could do. In any event, let me continue. Documented history has shown that after destroying the life wire of the Bank of the North, he went ahead to retire, promising young officers of Northern origin, Muslims and Christians, simply because we were paying for Abacha's crime against an Obasanjo. Not only that, even in the civil service, people of Northern origin were being exited, again sharing Abacha's crime. The only crime of the North is that an Abacha has given a devastating blow to an Obasanjo over a true or a phantom or alleged coup. Obasanjo is fully aware that under the military dispensation, under the military rules, if you are suspected to partake or participate or finance or support or even become aware of an existing coup, you remain guilty. That is the rule of the military. It's not the Northerners' rule. It is the military rule. And therefore, he should go and settle his case with Abacha on Judgment Day. But visiting the sin of the father over the child and that of the child over the son, it is not biblical, it is not state-manly, it is a crime against common sense, it is a crime against humanity. The father shall not bear the iniquity of the son.
Wow, this man, after listening to him, it's a long one. It's a long thing. I just got a little clips for you to understand what these people are up to. You can imagine. They will be talking one Nigeria to favor themselves. Okay, when everybody is now coming together, they now begin to separate. I don't even know, because the other thing is that the foundation is faulty already. The foundation is already destroyed. Because I don't know how come these people became so powerful or so having that entitlement. Not really powerful, having that entitlement of a ruling and to want to be in power. And they have nothing to offer. And because we can see it. The other day, Kwakwaso came out and began to spew a lot of things out. Now, this man's anger is on Obasanjo that committed all these atrocities is the one now coming back again to project Peter Obi. And they will tell you that they don't know Peter Obi. They are full of hatred. If you talk of one Nigeria, I've said it times without number that these guys are the ones against one Nigeria. At one point, the man was asked, he said, Obi not a Nigerian. He said, Obi is a Nigerian, but things must be looked into. They have to know their intention. But with all these things happening, oh my goodness, for as many who are not inclined with the politics of this country, you will not even know. If you are just there jumping, just going from places to places, just see comments somewhere, you just want to comment, you don't even know the basis of this whole thing. They will tell you all manner of things, you don't even find out. It's just a pity. Because if you know the in-depth of most of these things, when you hear Nnamdi Kanu Because of hatred, some people are so lazy to even listen. Let me even listen to a madman. Even if a madman is saying, there could be something that you're going to get from it. But because you already closed your mind to a lot of things, oh, this is what I want to do, this is what I've believed. Look at things holistically and see who is who. Be open-minded. You will know those who are really calling for one Nigeria. I've said Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu who are calling for separation of this country. They are the ones making people to understand what is really going on. But the ones are saying, oh, one Nigeria is a lie. Because you can see from their actions, you know that they don't mean well for Nigeria. They don't mean well for Nigeria. You can hear what this man is spewing out. Peter Obi is giving Mahdi Shehu and his cohorts a sleepless night. Just look at how Mahdi Shehu is digging for faults on Peter Obi as if he's digging crude oil in Egbema. Igbophobia cannot work this time around. This interview shows has helped to bring out a complete package of what type of politics the oligarchs have been playing to the detriment of the citizens. I mean the religion ethnic politics that have always picked tribes against tribe, religion against religion. A politics of sentiment, lies and propaganda coated in hatred, and sadly enough, a politics of Nigeria against the Igbos or Nigeria against Biafra. Thankfully, Nigeria are getting wiser each passing day because these dirty politics have always denied us of dividends of democracy as it favors only bitter elements like this man, who can best be described as a preacher of religious intolerance. But Nigerians, especially young people, are saying enough of this. The young people are saying they hold no grudges against any Igbos. They are saying Obi is a divine project. They are saying Obi is the unifying factor that Nigeria needs. Obi is a divine answer to the prayer of a honest, sincere, and good people of Nigeria. The good people of Nigeria cut across religious, ethnic, gender, class lines. Obi in prayer of a Muslim answered. His prayer of a Muslim answered is a prayer of a farmer answered. Peter Obi is prayer of struggling families answered. Obi is prayer and traditionalists or Christians answered. Peter Obi is prayer of a vulnerable Amajiri answered. Prayer answered of a child who is hawking on the streets of Kano, Lagos, Ibadan, Onitsha, Kaduna, and Zamfara. Anyone who tries to put asunder to God's answered project, we have God, the entire world, the youth, and the poor to contend with. I so invite this man to join Obi simple wagon and stop lamenting. When the same Obasanjo, you see how selfish they could be. When the same Obasanjo was rooting for Buhari in 2015, when he said, oh, he turned his card, they were all happy. No, they didn't bring all this sentiment to that Obi Tinubu is Buhari is not good, Obasanjo is not good. When he was rooting for Buhari, he supported Buhari in 2015. It was in 2019 he didn't support him again when he saw that Buhari started, appearing like a television with no clear. When he was supporting him in 2015, oh my God, every day were hailing him. They were hailing him. But see what is happening now. You see what is happening now? Because they don't just, I don't know, you say you don't want Igbo people, you don't like them, you don't trust them. They say they want to go, but you now say, oh, Nigeria cannot be divided. Who says who? Yes, some people are not crying out now, oh, Igbo, you say you don't want Biafra. You see, they are playing on the intelligence of these people. Playing on the intelligence of all Nigerians, and the gullible ones are playing into their hands. Oh, they will tell Igbo don't support themselves. Now they want to support themselves. They are not saying, oh, you are talking of a presidency now. What of a Biafra agitation? You can imagine. Now they are trying to discourage them. You say they don't support themselves. Now they say, okay, we want to do that which you think we are not capable of doing. The reason why we are agitating is because of this marginalization, and they want it to continue. And unfortunately for the gullible ones who are dancing around all these people who are using divide and rule tactics, you are being marginalized yourself. And I've said it because you don't have somebody who is going to speak on your behalf. And when you hear today that there's insecurity in the southeast, you should know that something is coming from outside. But they just want paint a scenario so that an Igbo man will not be able to get it. See all these one that are in APC, all these LGs, Kalu and all of that, they are not serious people. They've been able to push them aside. But at the end of the day, because they now believe that oh, everything is finished, okay, we've been able to scout, because the issue and the hit on the presidency to go to Southeast is a tough one for them. They don't want it. But God, somehow, God has a way of redirecting somebody even from that side. And at the end of the day, before you know, the person is becoming popular. That is why they are all hungry. Because they know that between APC and PDP, no way an Igbo man can get this presidential ticket. They were able to orchestrate to push them out. See all these Jews of Kalu, Rochas to Korocha, all of them, they push them away. They don't have that integrity. And it was good for Peter Obi to quickly left PDP. So see how God brought him back again. This same Igbo person they don't want, and the man is just gaining popularity all over the place. That is their worries and their problem. So guys, I wouldn't want to say much. You really heard the man. Let's know what you think in the comment section. Thank you.